From the shadowed annals of Europe's darkest hour emerges an image that has haunted our collective imagination for centuries, the cloaked figure with a macabre, bird-like mask. This is the Plague Doctor, a symbol of the Black Death, yet their true story remains one of history's most profound enigmas. Welcome to Echoes of Time, your portal to the forgotten pages of history, where we delve into the past to unmask the chilling realities of medieval medical desperation and unravel the secrets that lie under the dust of centuries. For generations, this terrifying costume and the popular myths surrounding it have woven a powerful narrative, symbolizing a dread that still resonates. But who were these enigmatic healers truly? Beyond the popular imagination, a deeper, more complex reality hides, one that intertwines desperate medical practice with profound societal upheaval during what was arguably Europe's darkest hour. Our journey today takes us to the very heart of this mystery, separating historical fact from enduring fiction, as we confront the forgotten realities of those who faced an unstoppable killer. To understand the Plague Doctor, we must first confront the catastrophe that birthed them, the Black Death. Erupting with unprecedented fury in the mid-14th century, this merciless pestilence swept across the continent, decimating nearly half of Europe's population. Cities crumbled under its relentless wave, societies teetered on the brink of collapse, and the very fabric of medieval life was torn asunder. It was a crisis without precedent, plunging the continent into an abyss of fear, loss, and agonizing uncertainty. In this crucible of despair, conventional medicine proved utterly powerless. Ancient remedies, religious rituals, and learned treatises offered no respite against the invisible enemy that stole loved ones and devastated communities. The medical knowledge of the age was rudimentary, and the true mechanics of the plague remained an agonizing enigma. In this void of understanding, and amidst the overwhelming tide of death, municipal authorities found themselves confronting a desperate truth. They needed individuals to manage the catastrophe, to confront the dying and the dead, even if they could not save them. It was in this desperate context that plague doctors began to be hired. These individuals were tasked with responsibilities that went far beyond what we might consider traditional medical care. They were on the front lines, not only attempting to treat the afflicted, but also documenting deaths, recording wills, and enforcing quarantines. Measures born more of desperate necessity than scientific understanding. These were the grim, unsung, and often tragic duties that defined their existence. Yet, the identity of these figures is far from the monolithic image folklore suggests. They were not always the highly trained, revered physicians of the time, many of whom had either fled the infected cities or succumbed to the plague themselves. Instead, a complex and often unsettling reality emerges from the historical record. Many plague doctors were often second-rate doctors, struggling to establish a practice, or even unqualified practitioners desperate for work in a collapsing economy. Barbers who possessed rudimentary surgical skills were also pressed into service. These individuals operated under incredibly dangerous and poorly understood circumstances, venturing into homes where the air itself seemed to carry the breath of death. The medical theories of the age offered little solace or practical guidance. Early attempts at explanation ranged from divine punishment, a widespread belief that the plague was God's wrath visited upon sinful humanity, to the miasma theory, which posited that disease was caused by bad air or noxious fumes emanating from decaying matter. Lacking any true comprehension of bacterial infection or contagion, these doctors navigated an uncharted medical nightmare, their interventions often based on superstition, guesswork, and the limited, often misguided, knowledge available to them. They were, in essence, stumbling through the dark, their lanterns flickering against an overwhelming darkness. The true impact and identity of these historical figures remain subjects of fervent academic debate, inviting us to delve deeper into the layers of history. Were they courageous pioneers fighting a losing battle against a devastating foe, risking their lives daily in a selfless pursuit of healing? Or were they opportunistic charlatans, preying on the fears of a dying populace, their services a desperate gamble for those with nowhere else to turn? The truth, as is often the case with the echoes of time, is likely far more nuanced and complex, a mosaic of motivations and outcomes. Some historians argue that their primary role was administrative, an essential function in a society grappling with unprecedented mortality. Their task was less about curative medicine and more about the grim logistics of a pandemic, recording deaths, administering last rites, witnessing wills, and managing the burgeoning numbers of the deceased. From this perspective, their medical interventions, from the widespread practice of bloodletting to the use of various potent elixirs and concoctions, were largely ineffective, if not outright harmful, often exacerbating the suffering of the afflicted. These practices, rooted in ancient humoral theories, had little chance against a microbial killer. However, other scholars highlight isolated instances where plague doctors championed early public health measures, rudimentary though they may have been. Promoting sanitation, advising on isolation, or even overseeing the burning of infected garments or the cleansing of homes, these efforts represented nascent attempts to contain the pestilence. While their understanding of contagion was incomplete, these pragmatic steps, born of observation and desperate innovation, might have saved lives and contributed to a slowly evolving understanding of public hygiene. These glimmers of foresight offer a counter-narrative to the image of pure ineffectualness. And what of the iconic mask and costume itself? The terrifying, bird-like visage, the dark cloak, the wide-brimmed hat, and the long wooden stick have become indelible symbols of the Black Death. Yet a third perspective posits that this enduring image emerged later, significantly exaggerated by folklore, artistic representation, and theatrical portrayals. It's difficult to discern the reality from legend, to separate the practical protection from the terrifying myth it became. Some historical accounts describe simpler forms of protective clothing, or even no specialized attire at all, with the famous mask only gaining prominence in the 17th century, long after the initial Black Death outbreaks, as a form of air filter filled with aromatic herbs to ward off the bad air, or miasma. This later adoption suggests that our most iconic image of the plague doctor is itself an echo of time, reshaped by memory and artistic license. Consider the cures these doctors administered. Bloodletting, a cornerstone of medieval medicine, was believed to rebalance the body's humors, but likely weakened already vulnerable patients. Potent elixirs, often containing dubious ingredients, offered false hope, their efficacy unproven, and their effects often more psychological than physiological. How did these individuals truly perceive their role in the face of an unstoppable killer? Did they believe in their remedies, clinging to the slim hope that their interventions might turn the tide? Or did they, in their heart of hearts, recognize the futility of their efforts, becoming more administrators of death than purveyors of life? The answers are buried beneath centuries of dust, shrouded in the personal struggles of individuals thrust into unimaginable circumstances. Echoes of Time strives to illuminate these untold stories, to peel back the layers of history and reveal the authentic human experience. Our journey through the ages is one of discovery, uncovering forgotten figures and unsolved enigmas that shaped our world. The Plague Doctor is more than just a chilling costume. It is a profound testament to humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and despair in the face of overwhelming catastrophe. It is a reminder of a time when the boundary between life and death was blurred, when knowledge was scarce and hope was a flickering flame. By delving into the shadowed lives of Europe's forgotten plague doctors, we not only separate historical fact from enduring fiction, but also confront the chilling realities of medieval medical desperation during one of humanity's greatest trials. Their story is an echo of our own continuous struggle against unseen threats, a testament to the enduring human quest for understanding and survival. In understanding their world, we gain a deeper appreciation for the present, for the strides in medicine, and for the tireless pursuit of knowledge that defines our own era. What lessons do these cloaked figures, standing at the precipice of medical ignorance and societal collapse, still hold for us today?